Welcome back. Earlier today, we watched the opening session of the 33rd Arab Summit, which included speeches of the Arab leaders regarding Arab topics in the political, economic, and many fields of cooperation, in addition to various challenges and obstacles facing the integration of joint action. To speak more about this, we have with us in the studio board member of the Bahrain Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Yaqoub Yusuf AlAwadhi. Hello and welcome, Mr. Yaqoub, to our special coverage.
Hello, how are you, Mohammed?
I'm good, thank you. Mr. Yaqoub, I would like to start with the Kingdom of Bahrain's hosting of the 33rd Arab Summit comes as part of the leading position that the Kingdom enjoys under the leadership of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa at the Arab and global levels. How would the outcomes and joint meetings of the Arab Summit contribute to the integrated economic cooperation among Arab countries?
Thank you, Mohammed. I think this is a very important question, and I think we are all, as Bahrainis, very proud to host the 33 Arab League Summit. And I think this comes in a very difficult time for the Arabs. And His Majesty, the King, I believe, stressed his commitment that this is the right time for us to build greater alignment together, especially on international fronts when it comes to the Arabs leading, I would say, cause where we want a justice cause for the Palestinian cause, where the two-state solution is something that Bahrain is pushing for, and the international community. So hence, the most important is building more integration and finding a resolution to a lot of misalignment in the Arab world. So His Majesty, I think, stressed on this, and these are very critical things to build a lot of alignment and build healing amongst the Arab world, to build a stronger bloc, because the world, as you can see around us, they are building very strong blocks, and the Arab world has the greater potential. Unfortunately, today we have not realized that potential, but with more integration, we will realize more of that potential.
His Majesty the King also stressed that no peace can be achieved without resolving these conflicts, which brings me to my next question. As referred in His Majesty the King's speeches, peace and coexistence are fundamental pillars that must be maintained. How would such approach contribute to the economic growth?
I believe His Majesty's vision and wisdom reflects on the peaceful coexistence in Bahrain. And his, I think, example, if followed around the world, will build a better, I believe, will bring better peace. As we can see, war around us will only bring more damage, more conflict, where there will not be any economic flourishing around. And this creates a lot of chaos around us. So with peaceful coexistence, it will bring a lot of peaceful living amongst each other, and economies will flourish. Education will flourish, and people can build their future. Whilst what is happening, we have a lot of chaos around us, unfortunately.
And of course, to achieve peace, the main importance of holding the Arab Summit is to enhance Arab integration and cooperation. What can you tell us about the Chamber's role in consolidating joint Arab action in the business field?
Well, the Chamber is playing an instrumental role in that. One by building a lot of integration amongst the business communities. Today, unfortunately, the levels of inter-Arab trade is very low. So the Chamber plays a role, increases that potential, brings the trader communities across different worlds, bring them together where they build partnerships together, where they extend their trade relationships, where they increase their bilateral trade to each other. Secondly, the Chamber plays a pivotal role in supporting and fueling SMEs. As you know, SMEs are the backbone of any economy, and especially in the Arab world, we have a young population, and these young population have to be supported, especially when it comes to innovative idea. Unfortunately, the Arab world is losing a lot of its talents going to the West. So supporting SMEs and retaining such talents in the Arab world will build greater potential for the Arab world.
And to follow up on the previous question, innovation in business and economy is always supported by the Chamber. What can you tell us about that?
Well, if I tell you, on a daily basis today was probably a classic example. While we were hosting the WEF event in Bahrain, there were a couple of I would say a couple of countries who participated in side meetings with us in the Chamber of Commerce. And this is an ongoing discussion that we have. We have continuous visits from the different countries. And for us, having the Arab world, it means a lot to us. It's a special occasion where we pay a lot of attention to see how we can increase the bilateral business with each other, see how we can support each other in that means, and hence this is a part of something that we love, and we are I think we are in favor of to support from the president or the chairman of the chamber and the rest of the colleagues. This is something very important on top of our priorities.
And the Bahrain Summit plays an integral role in showcasing the fields of cooperation between Arab countries in many fields. The Bahrain Summit is an important event to showcase the great opportunity that characterize the Arab world, which can contribute to achieving economic integration. What is your view in this regard?
Well, I totally agree with you. And as I said, the evidence is that the chamber, the Arab chamber, and the chamber in particular of these countries, they have close relationships with each other. They flourish innovation between them. They support the SMEs. They build a platform for trade. They share ideas, even at the levels of training, if possible. They cooperate on exchanging or transferring of knowledge between us and them. If you, alhamdulillah, Bahrain, I think chamber is amongst the top 5 oldest chamber of commerce, and we have very mature processes, and a lot of Arab chambers around us do come and visit us and learn from our maturity in our processes. Bahrain has this advantage that we build this maturity in chamber in when it comes to our processes, when it comes to our system. So there's a lot of transfer of knowledge between us, يعني بينيا, between us and the rest. So this helps a lot to promote Bahrain and transfer knowledge to others.
Mr. Yaqoub, earlier you mentioned that Bahrain is holding the World Entrepreneurship and Investment Forum, which coincides with hosting the 33rd Arab Summit. What can you tell us about the importance of that forum and its main goals?
Well, I was happy to see this forum actually pulls a lot of entrepreneurs around the Arab world. So it had from I think Middle East and Africa. So we had people coming from Africa, even from the Arab world, and they have innovative ideas. You will be impressed at the innovation that is brought up by young people. And what we would love to build is build an ecosystem that supports them, that supports investment in such startups, encouraging them to come to Bahrain. This is something that we want, and we encourage an ecosystem built around them in Bahrain to invest in such opportunities when it comes to innovation. So I think the Arab world is not short of talents. What is happening, unfortunately, talents are moving out. So what we need to do is find ways to retain these talents, build an ecosystem around it where we can financially support them, create an environment where they can excel. This is what is actually missing.
And the Arab region is facing many challenges, and the importance of holding the Arab Summit is to overcome these challenges.
Yes.
And in your point of view, what are the main political, economic and social challenges facing the Arab region and the world at the current time?
I think the biggest challenge we are facing today is to have peace and stability in our region. His Majesty the King has stressed on this on several international occasions or local occasions, and I think this time he stressed his commitment for the Arab world and the world to find a solution. There has to be a solution. This cannot continue. This by itself will help. Now the other challenge is the education level. Unfortunately, the education levels in different parts of the Arab world are inconsistent, and as I said, this doesn't encourage people and talents to stay in. We would love to Bahrain to be the environment, or to host, or to bring such talents from the Arab world, to host them here and support them and help them to flourish and grow. However, the other challenge is when it comes to chaos, when it comes to war, the issue of education. Unfortunately, a lot of people have been deprived from education, deprived from healthcare. So all of these matters, which are very consistent, which are critical for fundamental for human rights, are unfortunately not available in such conditions. So there is a lot of education related, there's healthcare related, and the more critical thing is alignment together. There are a lot of misalignment in the Arab world. Alhamdulillah, this part of the world, with the wisdom of the leaders, they have built great stability in here. I hope and pray that such stability will come across the rest of the region, and there is to be built good alignment between them.
Yes. And Mr. Yaqoub, the Arab nation, with its history, cultural values, human resources, and strategic location, are capable of further strengthening their joint action and integration. What more can you tell us about that?
Well, there are a lot of actions that need to be made, Mohammed. I think we have to have long-term plans, for the youth. The youth today represent between 60 to 70% of majority of the Arab countries. We are lucky that we have this level of percentage of youth. And youth are the future leaders. They need to be prepared, they need to be guided, they need to be mentored, they need to be given the right education, they need to be given the right mentorship level to do that. So a lot of challenges with regards to that. Unlike Europe on the other hand is, I think, an older and aging population, but the Gulf is thriving. The Arab world is thriving with talents, with young people, but they need to be handheld, they need to be guided, and I think Chamber is playing a great role from the business side. However, the government had to play hand-in-hand, again, role to bring up these talents, to the right way, because they're the future leaders of those countries.
And His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister are always keen to support the youth of the Kingdom of Bahrain.
Very true.
Can you tell us more about that?
Well, I think I'm an evidence of that. We work closely with Tamkeen, we work closely with Minister of Labour, we work with Ministry of Youth, and the programs and the initiatives, honestly, that they have come up are incredible. The youth are being given opportunities, whether he wants to continue his education, his professional education. If he's a job seeker, he gets trained. If he is, let's say, studied in a particular field where he wants to do another field, Tamkeen does a wonderful job. They reinvest in realigning them, bringing them to the market needs. If he's a professional in a corporate and he wants to climb the corporate ladder, there are programs where they give him specialization. They invest in programs 100% paid. I think we've never heard something like this in other parts of the world. People envy us. If you are an entrepreneur, they give you grants so long as you have, I would say, what it takes, credible ideas, a good business plan in place, you know what you want to do. They invest and give you grants to grow. So these programs that have been put in place genuinely shows that the government cares. And His Majesty the King and the Crown Prince, honestly, they believe in this and they support us. His Highness the Crown Prince actively supports these fields. Through the Chamber, we have the opportunity to meet the Minister of Finance, where he comes frequently, he visits us, he tells us about the government's programs, visits, he debriefs the team, he listens to us. And I'm happy to tell you that the government, under the leadership of His Crown Prince, His Highness the Crown Prince, they listen. And from the Chamber's perspective, when we give them any ideas, when we give them any solutions, they listen to those ideas, and if it's implementable within their priorities, it gets implemented. If it's not, it gets rescheduled. And there are instances where His Highness the Crown Prince came to the Chamber and he took the decision in the Chamber itself, which means that he listens. If there is proper rationale given, proper solution, ideas given, we listen. Alhamdulillah, we are happy for this, and I believe there is good integration with the government, with the Chamber, with the merchants. We have some challenges, of course. Nevertheless, there is no perfect environment. There's always room for changing. We have a lot of challenges ahead of us with the merchant, with the businesses. We bring that up continuously to the government. But I'm happy to say, at least they listen. Okay, if it's something that we can implement today and within their priorities, it can be done. If not, then we align ourselves with them and put some roadmaps and plans that we can get together. So overall, I believe the ecosystem supporting the youth, supporting the business, supporting the trade, it's there. There's continuous improvement. I believe this year's programs that were initiated by Tamkeen and His Highness the Chairman of Tamkeen, Sheikh Isa bin Salman, I believe was a record in the history of Tamkeen. What it did and what is giving it for obviously for the youth population and the merchant. And I think this is going on. And the beauty about it is that we are a nation which is small. We stick together, we support each other, and help obviously the needy, especially the SMEs. The SMEs, I believe, are the backbone of the economy. We are building a lot of supporting mechanisms to help them. The government started a lot of initiations for the SMEs, especially dedicating approximately 20% of the tenders coming to them. This criteria now is being adjusted and fixed to fine-tune to give them more and more support. So overall, the ecosystem is built around it to support it, and it is being built and adjusted as we go on.
And can you tell us the role of SMEs in enhancing the local economics?
Yeah. I mentioned 60 to 70 percentage of the commercial registration today are owned by SMEs. And these SMEs primarily are youth, young people, or people that are, I would say, starting their business experience, their business journey, if I may call it. With the programs that are in place with Tamkeen, they are making a significant, I would say, leapfrog in their plans, in their achievements. They need more support nevertheless. This is not the end of the world. They need more support. But I believe we are on the right steps, and SMEs are benefiting from it. We are working closely with different government entities to put in place a program for mentorship. I believe what is missing for the SMEs, they need, I would say, mentorship program in place where people sit with them, give them the mentorship program. Tamkeen had a wonderful program. I believe they will start again with this plan to continue to give mentorship and advice. So what is today, from my experience, as I touch a lot of young business people, they come and ask me, Muhammad, I want to start my business. My limitation is the financials. My limitation is that I can't grow my business. I can't do, or I want to embark on something which I don't know. So I will continuously tell them, okay, do you have clarity what you want to do? And the question is no. They don't know what they want to do. So they need to be guided to be put on the right track. Because, the last thing you want to do is invest in somebody, he doesn't know where he wants to go, and at the end of the day, you don't want people to fail.
Through the efforts and exchange visits of the Bahrain Chamber with world countries, can you tell us how did the world countries benefit from the experiences of the Kingdom of Bahrain?
I believe the visits mainly focus on promoting Bahrain. So when we go mostly to international visits, we go as a Bahrain team, one team. Bahrain team, so we go members from different government entities. We namely go with EDB, we go with representatives from different entities, from tourism. His Excellency Minister of Commerce joins us and his team. So we go with a very strong team, and we promote Bahrain in different areas. So EDB promotes Bahrain for investors to come to Bahrain jointly. Similarly, we meet with the business community. We have networking sessions with them. We visit the counterpart in the Chamber of Commerce, and we meet the members there. Again, we have networking sessions with them, and we align with different industries, so everybody from his expertise. And then we promote them we promote Bahrain for them to come over to invest in Bahrain. We need our role with the EDB and Ministry of Commerce is to promote Bahrain and promote FDI into Bahrain. So these are opportunities that we grasp and we jump on and we support as much as possible related. So apart from aligning with our counterpart, the chambers, meeting its members, aligning with them, we also have visit with companies. So we go and visit the top leading companies in those countries, in different fields, whether it's healthcare, whether it's technology, whether it's industry. And again, we encourage them to come to Bahrain, invest in Bahrain, give us an opportunity. And then we also talk to them about the advantages of setting up in Bahrain. We talk about the subsidies or the programs that Tamkeen offers. We talk about wage support. So overall, we go as a team and promote Bahrain as a whole. So this way, we go much more stronger.
And how do you think Bahrain benefited from world experiences?
Well, actually, there are a lot of best practices. We also يعني transfer knowledge to our counterparts, and similarly through exchange or through our meetings, through forums that we have, we also get a lot of best practices that we bring in Bahrain. For instance, in one of our visits that we visited in Asia, there were a lot of myth in the business community that if suppose you do business with this country and you know, one of the traders or the merchant, you know, does not honor his commitment to you, does not, you are lost. On the contrary, when we met the guys, they said no, if you do it through the right channel, this is how to do it, and this is how the traders are protected. And similarly, we shared all of that information when back. So whenever we come back, we debrief the business community, the traders, and we tell them, listen, this is how it's done. We try as much as possible to share knowledge, to share information, to debrief when we come back, whether it's a group traveling, whether it's a few members traveling. So I think the habit of the chairman of the chamber and the rest of the members is to come back and debrief us, and we in turn debrief the communities and the rest of the traders that this is how we can do things going forward.
Mr. Yaqoub, the business sector and the entrepreneurship sector are one of the most primary sectors in the Kingdom of Bahrain that attracts most of the youth of the kingdom actually. What advice would you give to the youth who are willing to go to these sectors?
Well, I think يعني if I reflect my experience starting into entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship يعني is not an easy thing. It's a tough challenge. It's not a walk in the park. So I always advise youth who want to enter this field that they should be prepared mentally to get into entrepreneurship. I always advise them to have the right mentor along that. I know Tamkeen is very supportive today. Tamkeen has programs that support, but I just want to make sure the youth know that this journey is not an easy journey. It's not something that will work from day one. It needs a lot of consistency. It needs a lot of dedication. Needs a lot of effort, a lot of commitment to make it happen, and it needs somebody that is able to cope up with stress. It needs somebody to be in love with what he's doing. I'm against passion. Passion for me is something that fades, and I always encourage guys, if you are passionate to do business, please don't do business. If you are in love, if you are willing to sacrifice and do what it takes to succeed, then you are in the right field, because you have to love it so much that you have to show up every day and continue to hustle to do that. So if you're prepared mentally to hustle, if you're prepared mentally to go through rough times, tough times, then please start with entrepreneurship. Otherwise, today, the country needs diverse expertise, whether it's doctors, engineers. We need a lot of even electricians. We need a lot of plumbers. We need a lot of carpentry. And if people who have that skill today are able to get in touch with their customers, they will make a fortune out of it. And it's happening in Europe today. What's happening is that plumbers, electrician, and maintenance handyman people make more money than professionals who are working in career in different sectors. So this is going to happen soon in Bahrain. So I want people who want to start their entrepreneurship journey to be aware of all of this, that it's not a walk in the park. It is something that requires serious hustle to reach where you are.
And holding the Arab Summit, of course, it discusses lots of political and economic issues. How can that benefit the youth?
Well, if you look at His Majesty's, sorry, is it about the forum?
Yes.
The forum. And even, by the way, if you talk about the Arab League, His Majesty the King, one of his key priorities focuses on youth, focusing on integration, focuses on digital transformation, focuses a lot of youth programs built around it to bring peace and stability. If we talk about the World Entrepreneurship Forum, again, the core of that is youth. The core is about entrepreneurship, how to encourage people, how to help them to succeed. And again, entrepreneurship succeeds, again, as I said, with an environment around it to support it, whether it's the angel funding capabilities, whether it's the mentorship, whether it's the overall, I would say, medium. However, you need the right stakeholders around to be built around it for it to flourish and generate or moving to the next potential that is available for them.
And the Bahrain Summit aims to reach sustainable solutions to vital issues by strengthening cooperation and partnerships. What is the importance of such approach?
Well, I think the whole world today is built on synergies. So today there are no, I would say, Superman anymore. There are super teams, super countries together. When efficiencies, when synergies are brought together, then you see real potentials. This is why I think the Arab world has a great opportunity to build a strong bloc between each other. His Majesty the King called upon a free trade, a free zone amongst the Arab world. These are critical elements that His Majesty has emphasized on. And if put in place, this will help youth to take advantage of the trade amongst each other without barriers to do business across different Arab territories.
And as we watch the closing of the Arab Summit, what are the main objectives that you hope that the Arab Summit would achieve?
Well, honestly, I firmly believe that His Majesty stressed enough on key pillars that needs to be done. And if we are able to do few of them, only few, we are not saying the whole, few of what His Majesty said, especially about empowering youth, about having free trade amongst the Arab world, having a free zone where they can do business, there's more integration between all of that. This will help the economies to grow further. And it's honestly, it's a shame and it's a pity. You see the bilateral trade between the Arab worlds is so humble that you get surprised when you see potentials of the countries in the Arab world and what they are doing. We are not realizing any of the potential of bilateral trade. It's a pity, and the bilateral trade is very humble in my opinion, and such initiatives that have been stressed by His Majesty, I believe will help to grow this into much more bigger levels where it meets our ambition.
And the gathering of Arab leaders here at the 33rd Arab Summit for the first time in Bahrain focuses on many fields, political and economic and many others. How would this summit contribute to enhancing the economic field in particular?
I believe what is happening around us, Muhammad, thank you for the question, it's a good question. I believe what is happening around us in the world, it is clear evident that we need to have a very strong Arab bloc. If you look at the European Union, if you look at the new blocs that are being part of the new world order being created, the Arabs have to play a major role. And if you look at resources, the Arab worlds, I don't think lack any resources when it comes to natural resources, whether it comes to talents, whether it comes to geographical locations, and we have in abundance of all of that. I think what is really missing is wise leadership to bring all of that together and realizing potential. What is missing is honestly the proper leadership, to have consistent leadership, to bring the potential to a much more higher level. Unfortunately, the potential today is not realized. As I mentioned, the young population need to be empowered, need to be trained, need to be educated. Basic human rights needs to be in place. A proper healthcare system needs to be placed. Proper education system needs to be placed. All the population should have access to education. Unfortunately, there are many Arab countries, they don't have access to education and healthcare till date. Can you believe? Which is difficult. The world is moving towards digital transformation. There are some countries in the Arab world, and alhamdulillah, Bahrain, if you look at the numbers, international numbers, we are ahead of many countries who are economically much more stronger than us. However, with the wise wisdom of His Majesty the King and the Crown Prince, Bahrain has made its role, its lead in when it comes to digital transformation. Our e-government is a great evidence of all of this today. If you look at COVID, if you go back to COVID, you will find that Bahrain managed to easily cope up and offer education, offer health remotely, whilst other countries, maybe financially much more stronger around us, struggled a little bit to do that. Bahrain, alhamdulillah, swiftly managed to go through that because we had the infrastructure, we had the leadership vision ahead of time, we were ahead and worked all of that. So the integration, and then it was very swift for us to move on from that aspect.
And as you mentioned, Bahrain made quantum leaps in the field of digital transformation. Can you tell us some of the achievements of the kingdom in this field?
Well, I believe some of the achievements today, we can evidently say that during COVID, none of the government services stopped. it continued. This did not bring. This is a great evidence that the services were there. It continued. I would say another example. I would say one example which it's dear to my heart. I have some of my businesses in different segments. One of them is a training business. I believe that during COVID we had our license that was about to expire and it had to renew. For renewal, normally civil defense visit us, the municipality visit us, but because of the mindset and the change that were within the people, they were happy enough just to find a video that takes them around like a site visit quickly, and everything was done online, approved. So the mindset of the people is in the right direction. So Bahrain has the right mindset when it comes to adapting technology, when it comes to implementing technology. I think the population is ready for it. They grasp on it. They don't stumble. Unlike other countries, which I said, there are countries around us much more financially stronger than us, but they stumbled. But alhamdulillah, with God's grace and the wise leadership, in the country, we managed to, leapfrog and bring services. So government services in Bahrain never came at halt during worst of the worst conditions, alhamdulillah, during that period.
And how can the Kingdom of Bahrain further share its experiences with world countries?
Well, I believe this is happening. So at different level, we are a part of the Bahrain team. The knowledge is spread amongst us. So I believe many of our success stories when it comes to the e-government, when it comes to the healthcare, when it comes to education, is being showcased around the world. And this is why if you look at Bahrain's ranking in those fields, we are very high amongst the Arab countries. In the contrary, even when you look at European countries, we are ahead of many countries because of this, because we share a lot of experience. So like we give them we transfer our knowledge to them, share experience. At the same time, we look at best practices, we look at benchmarks. We continue to benchmark Bahrain to the best, and we aspire to be the best. I think our ambition, the ceiling of ambition for Bahrain is very high, and through His Highness the Crown Prince, and the team, Bahrain's team, is working towards that to give the best. Bahrain deserves the best, and honestly, the people that we have on board, whether it comes to the government, whether people in the leadership team, I think we have the best people, and there's good synergy between them.
And the business sector, the economic and the entrepreneurship sectors are one of the vibrant sectors in the kingdom that receive royal support and also receive support from the chamber. Can you tell us about these supports?
Well, the support, I think the chamber, if I may talk about the chamber, because I am from the chamber. So specifically what we do for entrepreneurs, or I would say our members. Our members, we continuously have awareness programs. Whether it is a technology program that comes or a program related to a specific sector, we encourage even the business communities or the community of different industries to go abroad, travel, visit trade businesses, visit events that is sponsored by the chamber. So the committees do travel outside. They look at best practices. They look at things that they bring to Bahrain. That is something that we continuously invest in. The chamber uses a lot of technology also between its members, between its teams. So there is a lot of efficiency that we build there. Another thing is that the board members continuously travel, meet their counterparts. They meet even innovative companies. They meet a lot of technology, I would say, driven countries to learn and adapt from them and try to bring to the business community. So we continuously exchange the information. The information is completely disseminated to the business community. So even when business delegations come, and this is what we do, we continuously encourage in every meeting that we have with every ambassador, whether it's the Europeans or the American ambassador or even ambassadors from Europe, we always encourage them to send a business delegation. And when they send their business delegation, we tell them, listen, please give us time, we will plan, give us enough time, we will plan, we will bring the business community, their counterparts in Bahrain, to ensure a successful networking so that the outcome becomes successful. Even those guys traveling to Bahrain, we want them not to feel that they've invested in the wrong trip, but they meet the right people, and we make sure there are good outcomes for Bahrain and the Bahraini business trader.
And Mr. Yaqoub, this year the World Entrepreneurship and Investment Forum comes in its 5th edition.
Yes.
Can you tell us about the achievements of the previous editions, including this edition, and its contributions to enhancing the status of the kingdom?
Well, I think the most important thing for whether if I talk about myself or people who have visited the event, if you hear success stories, sharing success stories honestly means a lot to people here. When you are in business and you go through challenges, you think that you are the only one. But when you listen to other people, when you hear stories about successes, challenges of other people, it makes people feel much more comfortable. So when you see success stories of countries that you have never heard before, when you see passion, when you see talent of people that are driving their business, and you hear about their success story, this lets people think that, you know what, the whole world is, is a small village.
And how can all of these initiatives adopted by the kingdom contribute to the economic growth of the national economy?
Well, I believe, as I said, Bahrain comprises of 60 to 70% youth population. The government is doing so far an incredible job to retain its youth, to challenge them, to assist them, and meet their initiatives and talents. So long as there are programs, whether it's in sport, whether it's in business, whether it's in school, whether it's in their corporate upbringing, there are programs that touch most of the, I would say, segments in the community. So these programs all set together creates like a 360, I would say, a program for the Bahraini population. So you will definitely find something that suits you. If you decide not to go into business and you want to excel in your, let's say, in your field of business, if you are willing and you know what you want to do, if you want a particular course, a training, a specialized training program, you want to go through it, you will get the support to do it. If you want to do your own business, you know what to do, you'll get a grant to do it. If you are a job seeker and you are not getting the job that you want, they will reskill you, they will invest in you. So there are different programs. If you want to go into sports, there are special programs for people who want to go sports. Bahrain needs people who are talented in sports. So different talents are being taken care. There are new programs that come. And I believe, honestly, the people that I closely work and with Tamkeen, the CEO of Tamkeen, honestly, she's doing a fantastic job with her team and her leadership team today to listen. And then year after year, because they take feedback from the market, they continuously do their improvement program. So what they do is they launch a program, they launch out surveys, put some feedback, bring feedbacks in the system, do improvements, enhancements, so that continuously helps them to improve.
And nowadays, the private sector plays an integral part along the government to enhance the development process of the kingdom and the national economy.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that?
Well, obviously, I believe the private sector needs to be given more role to play. I believe the government role is more a regulatory role, and I think gradually the government is planning to be there. The private sector has to lead the economy, has to drive the economy, and I think there are a lot of PPP, private partnership programs being launched by the government, and I think this is a great way of engaging the private sector. I believe the private sector should be empowered more in Bahrain, and the government has this plan to empower the private sector, because if you look at around, if I talk about countries probably in Asia and many parts of Europe, and even in Turkey, the private sector plays a pivotal role in driving the economy. The government is still playing a role in driving, and I think they have realized that they need gradually to pull from that, put the private sector in front for them to drive. I think it's a transitional phase that is happening. I can see that. I can see the good intentions from the government. The Minister of Finance keeps on repeating this, and we hear it. They want to do more partnerships with the private sector, and it's happening, and I believe this is what will kickstart or take us to the next level.
And through holding the Arab Summit and the gathering of the Arab leaders, what can be done to enhance the economic cooperation between Arab countries?
I believe, again, I go back on re-emphasizing on His Majesty the King. I think I would say the trade union between the Arab states, free zone was, and the third was I think transfer of information, knowledge, or digital transformation overall. So if you remove all the barriers between trade between these countries, this will help the business to flourish. And secondly, by having free zones where products will land. Today, we would love, I think, you know what is happening around the world with people today deciding which products they want to buy. Today, around the Arab world, people have decided they want to buy alternative products. And there are alternative products in the Arab world. However, the consumer does not see them, it does not reach them. With His Majesty's initiative, this will bring more of these products, to all of these countries. Hence, I think this has to be, few of these initiatives, if they were, executed, put in place, I think this will help the businesses to go up. As I said, the potential between bilateral trade between the Arab world today, what is being realized is very humble compared to the potential. We have not realized anything to what the potential is. These are such initiatives highlighted by His Majesty the King will help to flourish this business and take the businesses to a much more stronger level.
And currently, what are the challenges facing the Arab region in this regard, and what can be done to overcome these challenges?
As I said, the challenges, the number one challenge, there are regulatory challenges. There are obviously political challenges. The second challenge is that logistics, flow of logistics. Today, if you look at some of the African countries today, North African countries, it's difficult for, there are no, I would say, continuous travel routes. So we need to enhance logistics, transportation. These are something critical to do business. So how can we do enhance business from one country if the routes are not in place to carry the goods, okay, people travel, but however, you need goods to come. And goods to come today, there's a challenge, via the Suez Canal is a challenge, and several other areas.
And can you tell us the role of the Chamber in supporting the economic growth of the Kingdom, and also at the same time supporting the youth of the Kingdom of Bahrain?
The Chamber's role for business has always been evolving. So we have, as I said earlier, we have members, approximately 40,000 members today. These are commercial registration that are registered and official members, active members with the Chamber. These members today, they enjoy information given to them, support to their sectors. The sector today, the Chamber has continuous meetings where they meet with business communities, they listen to their challenges, they bring their challenges in, and at the same time, these challenges are filtered and brought to the government. So we bring a lot of research put around it. So we have a think tank within the Chamber. The role of the think tank is studying, benchmarking, putting some plans and putting some solution and option for the government to look up, some rational solutions for them to take up. So these are the things that we do. So we take all these opinion feedback from the business community, and we take it to our think tank where they put numbers around it and put studies around it and take it for the government, and the government seriously looking into them.
Thank you so much, Mr. Yaqoub, for your insightful word. We will get back to this discussion shortly. We continue our discussion with our guest here in the studio, the board member of the Bahrain Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Yaqoub Yusuf AlAwadhi, for his final remarks about the summit and the discussed efforts to further enhance joint Arab action in all fields. Mr. Yaqoub, before we conclude our discussion session, is there anything you would like to add?
Well, Mohammed, I'd like to thank you and thank Bahrain TV for giving me this opportunity. And as I said, I'm very proud, for Bahrain to host this 33rd summit in Bahrain. And I really hope and pray that the resolution and the initiatives emphasized by His Majesty the King will find its way into execution, because this will build a lot of integration amongst the Arab world, which is badly needed at this stage. So we hope and pray. The ambition of the Arab world youth and the population in general is very high from this summit. I hope the key initiatives and challenges that we face, and I hope and pray peace prevails in the region, because when peace prevails, then economy flourishes, and this is what we need. The Middle East needs peace. It's about time for Middle East to get its share of peace and stability. Stability will help all parties, will benefit from it, and I believe the coexistence that is in Bahrain is exemplary, and His Majesty the King and his leadership played a pivotal role to bring stability in Bahrain, and I hope this is a lesson that the others learn from us in Bahrain. So I hope for peace, and I hope and pray for peace and stability in the region.
Mr. Yaqoub, thank you so much for your inspiring words. I, for one, have been inspired. Thank you for joining us in the studio. It was a true honor.
My pleasure, Muhammad. Thank you very much. My honor as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Antonio Guterres, has arrived yesterday to Manama based on the invitation of the Bahraini government to attend the 33rd Summit of the Arab League. This is the visit of the Secretary General comes in a very timely manner where the situation in the region is going through many challenges. The visit of the Secretary General showcases the strategic partnership between the United Nations and the League of the Arab States in advancing peace and security and sustainable development, in addition to the strategic partnership between the United Nations and Bahrain, being Bahrain as the playing an important role both on the regional level and on the multilateral level. Upon arrival, the Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres, has met with Dr. Abdel Latif Al-Zayani, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Bahrain, and they discussed the areas of conflict in the Arab region. They came up with a common understanding about the necessity of addressing those issues in the Arab Summit with a view to come up with concrete recommendations to address those issues in a practical and efficient manner.